So when someone's starting out and they're trying to figure out their investor DNA, I think a good initial place to start is to stop and think about where your headspace is. Like when your mind wanders, what is it wandering to? What are you thinking about? What do you want to read about? What do you gravitate towards when you research? What kind of conversations do you like to have? And that can be a good stepping stone into engaging into what is my investor DNA and where do I even start?
Money can be complicated. Let a nerd help you. We're here to demystify the complex nature of money by getting you answers from financial nerds and whiz kids. Welcome to Ask the Money Nerds, a weekly segment of the Wealth Labs podcast where we answer your most pressing money questions. Do you have money you want to invest or just become a better investor so you can create cash flow with your existing investments? Do you know where to invest in this interesting time? What investments should you avoid? And which ones will yield the best returns? Look, don't take risk and throw your money into investments that don't create cash flow. Instead, let's have you do this. All right, I'll let you ask the question before I say what do this is.
Okay, what are you going to do over there?
I think I might smoke a tobacco pipe, you know?
It's a first on Ask the Money Nerds here.
Does it make me seem smarter is the question.
I can't say that it does.
No? I mean, I could put on like a padded elbow
Look
jacket.
Look at this. You have a little...
It's a couch for my pipe.
A little cushion for it.
My wife's like, how are you going to tell the kids you smoke a tobacco pipe? I'm like, I smoke it once a month. So now they're like, oh, that's more than once this month, Dad. They're like
they're monitoring.
Oh, yeah, they monitor. Mm-hmm. I'm a writer. I have to, bring back. You got
to feel inspired.
This is from an Indian reservation tobacco, so I feel like it's cleaner than the other tobaccos out there.
Okay,
so,
light it up.
All right, you read the question. Yeah. I'll light the tobacco.
Okay, Nicole's question is the one we're answering today. And she said, wow, we got flames. I don't know if I can read the question during this. I got to make sure nothing catches on fire.
We're good.
Oh, I can't believe this is happening. This is so funny.
There you go, Stova.
Woo, look at all that smoke. Okay, now we're ready. I'm going to need to really focus and take you seriously. Okay, Nicole's question. I inherited money, a few $100,000. I would like to put it to good use by either buying or starting a business.
This is really throwing you off, huh?
It kind of is. I don't want to squander or lose it. I don't know any entrepreneurs or anyone that can give direction on how to build cash flow without having a regular job. Before this money, all I knew to do was save, save, save. I've taken the time to educate myself on economics and the stock market, but worry about taking the wrong advice. How can I find a mentor? I'm in the Phoenix area and start creating cash flow.
Okay, first off, we have a program at wealthfactory.com/scale, SCALE. Okay. That is great for like if you're going to acquire businesses and how to manage those businesses. We got our CMO, Matt Silverstein. We got our chairman, Norm Westervelt. I take people through it, Brandon Allen, our business scale strategist. So it's a pretty great program. I think that'd be helpful. But let's start with Investor DNA. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and tell her what Investor DNA is.
Oh, I'm the money nerd now.
Yeah, you know.
I do. Yeah, Investor DNA is knowing your skill sets and what you're able, what you're an expert in, and where you can really focus your energy and be successful and not relinquishing control over to someone else. Like really own your power and add value into the world in that way. Yeah,
invest in what you know, right? So well said, Stova. Basically, risk isn't in the investment, it's in you, the investor. So what kind of investments are you going to do? Mm-hmm. Some people are good at real estate, others suck. Some people are good at the stock market, not many. Most people suck at it, right? Mm-hmm. Some people are good at tax liens, others aren't. Like some people are good at acquiring businesses and understand the fundamentals, others aren't. So if you don't have an answer, the first place you invest a portion of this money is getting educated. Mm-hmm. So yes, part of that is finding the right person that you could learn from. Then secondarily, which I think she understood, is building a network of people and professionals. We're actually doing that at Wealth Factory right now. We're interviewing all these business acquisition specialists, these business exit specialists, that this is what they've done for their career to build a network just for this very thing. Yeah. And that's why wealthfactory.com/scale. So that's my first answer is figure out what kind of investor you're going to be and focus instead of diversify. Mm-hmm. Where are you going to put your time and attention so that you can create risk management and strategies to understand what's really happening?
Mm-hmm. So when someone's starting out and they're trying to figure out their investor DNA, let's say they've never had an investment. They never have owned a business. They've never put money in the stock market. How do you even figure out what you're good at? without spending a ton of money or losing time.
Yeah, well, what's nice is there's a lot of like inexpensive courses right now. There's books, there's audiobooks. Like you could just see, like, do you have a natural inclination towards these types of things? Like I've been doing a lot of webinars and podcasts. I just did one for Nate Lynn's group, which they're all about business acquisition for digital businesses, right?
Yeah.
Like e-commerce type businesses. I've spoken at amazing.com before, which is all started out as how to build a business on Amazon, and people are, starting a business with less than $5,000 and becoming extraordinarily profitable. So we're in a world where this is more available than ever. And a lot of it has to do with, what are you reading about? Some people are great with technology. Others are great with finance. Some people are great with, some crazy nuanced thing that they understand something around health and what that's going to mean. So it's about really figuring that arena out and then understanding how you can invest in that particular area. So, I mean, that's the big piece. So a lot of this is also being patient. Don't jump into investment too quickly. Look at a lot of investments before doing something. And if you could find someone that you can add value to so that you could learn from them at the same time, you're giving them your time and your whatever ability you happen to have, so that you can see how it's actually done, how these transactions actually occur.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that do that in real estate, right? So there's so much in this world. I like the book Buy Then Build by Walker Dybo.
Yep.
Especially for business acquisition and entrepreneurship acquisition, where you're looking at smaller businesses, and with the kind of money that she has, that's, easy to get a decent sized business. Like 96% of businesses don't even crack $1 million of revenue. So you could be buying a business that for the amount of money that we're talking about here, and start cash flowing that from early on. But you better understand basic fundamentals about business, and, just how you can manage cash flow. And, in Win Then Play, one of my books, I talk about these 7 factors of business. The first one is just having basic reports where you understand, okay, what are the 4 things that drive the most value for this business? And if you can measure that, then second, have you looked at the margins? Is there anything that can be improved? Is there something that needs to be dropped because it's not profitable enough or doesn't make sense? Is there something where you survey your clients and they say, hey, this is something we really want to do, and you either have a strategic partnership where you can actually add another line of revenue, or you build that yourself. Like, I could go on kind of forever on this topic, but what I look at is the cycle of creation. And the cycle of creation is we begin with an idea, right? And this idea is, hey, maybe I should buy a business. Great. To make that a concept, it really takes investing and understanding what type of business, narrowing that down, and then really figuring out, someone that's already in that industry where you could go learn from them and work for them or anything that way. And then you can start building your framework of like, what's your process for that purchasing, and how do you make sure that it's going to be profitable, and, those numbers that we're talking about. And then what can you do to add more value to that existing business that it's not seeing right now because that business owner was tired or struggling or just ready to retire and hadn't really put any energy into it?
Yeah. One of the things that I want to add to Investor DNA is sometimes I think a good initial place to start is to stop and think about where your headspace is. Like, when your mind wanders, what is it wandering to? What are you thinking about? What do you want to read about? What do you gravitate towards when you research? What kind of conversations do you like to have? And that can be a good stepping stone into engaging into what is my investor DNA and where do I even start? Because there's so many possibilities. And if you're like me, I'm just like, the world is such a beautiful place and there's so many things that are fascinating. I could do any of these and be happy. But maybe just think about, I would encourage you, Nicole, just to focus on where your attention goes.
Yeah. I like how you're saying that, because this is like, I think we make it too complex sometimes and we want to have it all figured out from day one, but it's like, just look at the footprints of attention in your life. Like, what are you reading normally? What are you studying normally? What do you find fascinating? Where do you figure things out quicker than someone else? And I think some like self-reflection is helpful. We like the Kolbe profile, Kolbe, which tells you your conation, how you like to get things done. I know you've studied the Enneagram pretty extensively,
Enneagram.
and I think that's super profound. So like, have an understanding of how you operate so you can team up with people that operate a little bit differently or can fill in the gaps where you don't have that. And I think business acquisition is going to be a huge opportunity for the next few years. There's going to be a lot of businesses that don't make it, that you could buy for very inexpensive, or there's going to be people that are just retiring and they're going to want to sell. And so I think the next 2-3 years, that's the place to go. Okay. So, all right, you got some ideas here to turn your ideas into profit and to build the life you love.